Remote work has always been a thing in organizations. However, due to the pandemic, this is a trend that has sped up. The biggest barrier to that prevented managers from approving remote work in the past was lack of experience with it. But now, due to the pandemic, workers and employers have lots of experience managing remote work, and they have seen that remote work can be effective. So the way that remote work is basically when an employee performs the job away from the physical work site. This is either going to be work from home or some other non-client site. And traditionally, this was called telework, in which employees would use the telephone in order to complete the work. But now, with advances in information technology, it has further enabled remote work to take place, such as using Zoom or Teams or some other video conferencing system to meet with employees, the use of cloud computing, and using collaborative documents to coordinate and facilitate work. A lot of employees, now that they've had experience with this, they kind of expect it. I anticipate that a hybrid workforce is going to be kind of the standard going forward, where employees spend a few days in the office and a few days working from home. Some companies, though, have gone completely remote, using what is called distributed employment. This will be an increasing trend as well, but I do believe that the hybrid workplace will be the standard going forward. Now, there are a lot of benefits as well as risks to remote work. In terms of the benefits, you do get better work-life balance, or at least it's possible to get better work-life balance. There's also allows people to live places that are more conducive or compatible with their lifestyle. You can work at companies on the West Coast and in Silicon Valley without having to live there. So you have more freedom in terms of where you live and control over cost of living, as well as any other thing that's important to you in your personal life. Employees, as a general rule, they like it. They see this remote work as a valued benefit. And so by offering it to employees, or at least the option of being remote some of the time, can help reduce turnover and have employees stick around longer. Also, through the pandemic, one of the big concerns has always been that remote workers will not be productive, as productive in the workplace. But due to the pandemic, we've demonstrated that remote workers can be as productive, and in some cases, even more productive when they are working remotely. In addition, this is potentially better for the environment because there are fewer people commuting, driving into work, so fewer greenhouse gases being produced. And also corporations can save money because they need less office space if they're not hosting all their employees all the time. Now, there are a lot of disadvantages that need to be taken into consideration. First off, there's going to be much more social isolation. I know right now I'm sitting in a room in my house speaking to apparently no one, but hopefully people are listening. Whereas if you were in a classroom, I would be able to see your faces, see how you react to the material. And associated with that, there's less informal communication. So in the workplace, there would be chance meetings where people are bumping into each other in the hallway, or maybe they go out to eat for lunch, or they're chatting before or after a meeting about the topic. And don't get me wrong, these things are very important. And there's actually a significant amount of work that we do in these sort of chance meetings and before and after meetings type stuff. Also, with remote work, we get lower team cohesion because people just don't really feel like they're part of the team if it is not managed well. And also, there's weaker organizational culture because it's the social system that drives the culture. So if people are not interacting as much, we do see a weaker organizational culture. Now, to help try to overcome the challenges of remote work. There are lots of things that we need. From the employee, we need to try to find employees who have high motivation, as well as high self-organization in a high work economy. Because there's no managers or other coworkers that are holding the employees to task, we needed to really be able to trust that the employees are able to handle. Also, they need to be able to be good with technology skills. Now, during the pandemic, I think everybody had an upgrade in their technology skills, and for the most part, we've been rather comfortable with using these video software, video meeting platforms. In terms of the job characteristics, remote work is best for work in which employees do not need office resources in order to do the work. So in other words, they can do the work remotely. Any sort of resource that they need in order to do the work, they can access via a computer or the internet. Also, task performance needs to be measurable. Now, task performance should have always been measurable, but really too often, a lot of companies use very poorly measured factors when assessing or employees' performance. And so using more of a goal-based approach to assessing performance, such as management by objectives, would be very effective in the remote workplace. And then from an organizational characteristic, I think that some of the organizational characteristics that you see here are definitely important, such as rewarding people for accomplishment and performance. And if we use a system like management by objectives or a very quantifiable way to assess somebody's performance, then we can easily do this. But there are some additional managerial skills that are absolutely needed in doing remote work. Managers were doing a poor job of managing before when they had their employees all on their vacation. But now that they are remotely and the managers are not in the same room with them, this requires new and better managerial and leadership techniques from people in managerial positions. And it's going to be incumbent on those leaders to not only learn new leadership and management techniques to make sure that their employees are fully engaged, motivated, and doing their work, but also that they're maintaining team cohesion and a feeling of psychological connectedness to the workplace.